Okay. Anyway, we are doing mental health talks with various people about their streams and how mental health has affected their streaming and vice versa, how mental health has affected their content. We're about to speak to our second guest here, EBX Erin. Let me give you a heckin' shout out. If I can click in my chat, I'd be all set.
Who's that Pokemon?
She does a lot of
And
music
also
streams.
read.
Oh, that is loud.
I can't hear you.
It's Pikachu!
Hello? You okay, bro?
I think one just
Oh,
got
no.
her mucus got caught in my throat.
Did you hear that? It's for the best. The fuck?
Trying not to die.
I love it.
There's your free clown cough that nobody asked for.
All right, listen, y'all. I want to watch the crowd.
That was great. I loved it. Loved every second. Anyway, let's go talk to Erin now, okay? Let's go. Hi.
Hi. I have no idea what clip that was.
Me neither. But welcome in. How are you doing?
I'm good, Waba. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty great. Hope you're well. Hope you're taking care of yourself out there. Why am I going back to that? Vladimir. Oh my god, I like the name. Thanks for the follow. Welcome in.
Vladimir is my partner, actually.
Oh my goodness. Hello.
Yes.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to Waba fam. Your mental health talk place queer safe space. Hi, Erin. How have you been?
I have been, the last couple months of my life have been absolutely bonkers, but I can't complain. I've just been uber busy, but also fighting allergies, like a lot of people in the Midwest. But I can't complain. I've been really well.
That's awesome. Tell us about yourself, what you do, what your content's like. I know you do a lot of music.
Yeah, so I have a particularly interesting stream journey compared to a lot of streamers because music on Twitch is only like, I don't know, 5 years old or so. A couple of people started streaming music on Twitch probably 2017 or so. And those people started to get partnered like in 2019, pre-pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit, a whole lot of people, thousands of people flocked to Twitch because obviously we could not play music live. And I'm one of those thousands of people. You're making me hungry. I need you to send food. How dare.
Do you want chicken or a cheesesteak? I'm sorry, I need to eat.
Ooh, chicken. No, you're good. You're good. I just looked up at the screen and I'm like, oh, how dare you? I'm hungry. But yeah, I was one of the thousands of musicians around the world who went to Twitch when we very quickly realized YouTube and Facebook are inferior
Yes.
to the streaming landscape in terms of like internet streaming platforms. And so I actually started streaming games 23 months ago, almost to the day, 23 months ago. Yeah, I started streaming games. I streamed once a week, Saturday nights. I did horror games only. I started with Slender Man 2. And then we did games like Alien and Blair Witch and like House of oh shoot, I lost the name of it as soon as I started to say it. The one with
House of Pain.
No, House of I lost it. Anyway,
I don't know.
but yeah, mostly first-person horror, and then I was introduced to Dead by Daylight, and now me and my partner still both play Dead by Daylight. But yeah, and then later that year, I think it was July of 2020, Mixer shut down. Then there was this whole other wave of people, and so I started streaming music and games. So I would do 2 days a week music, 2 days a week games, and I did that until January 2021, and then February. Right around the time I joined the underworld, I decided like I was seeing a lot of fluctuation, not in a good way, when it came to my viewership. It was like people were like, "Oh, yay, it's a music day," and my numbers were, in the 20s, 30s, and then on my game days, it was like in the teens and never really broke a certain point. And so the people around me were like, maybe it's time to let go of the gaming stuff, go full-time music. And so in February 2021, I went full-time music on Twitch, but I've been full-time streaming this entire time. I actually transitioned out of the wedding industry here in Michigan during the pandemic. I had to get the hell out of Dodge. I was trying to anyway. And then the pandemic was like, okay, this is the gentle push I needed to leave. Gentle. I say gentle. And so I officially retired from that. I never did any gigs in 2020. I still haven't stepped on stage in over 2 years now. And so streaming has kind of been my mental health savior as well as my physical health savior because
for
I
sure.
have an autoimmune disease that's attached to my respiratory system.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's a whole body disease. It's endometriosis, and for some people it's
I know
not
what endometriosis
full
is.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like for some people it's not a full body disease. Some people it's just near the reproductive system. But for me, it does go all the way up to my diaphragm as far as I've medically known. And so it's been particularly challenging for me to explain that to people that I am actually happier now as a streamer and I don't look forward to overextending myself mentally and physically once, everything's over, which I'm not implying it is.
No.
But you know what I mean. Quotes. So my journey on Twitch has been out of pure desperation, but it's been I am so incredibly grateful for it. We have hundreds of community members that I would have never met that love my band to death, and people are grateful that I started streaming because now they're like, well, now we know who you are, and it's this amazing mutual appreciation that I didn't know I needed. And I was
amazing, honestly.
yeah, and like I went to high school with somebody who is a Twitch streamer still,
That's awesome.
very, very part-time, but like, so I knew what Twitch was,
Right.
but I didn't get it. You know how you might follow one person and hang out every once in a while, but like, you don't get it. But
Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I do Twitch. What's that?
Right. And then I would go every once in a while, and she also played like Five Nights at Freddy and all of these games that I had always wanted to play, but didn't have a gaming computer, didn't have time. When you're a full-time working musician, what games? You're a hustler.
When
So-
games.
When games. So it honestly, like, I'm glad that I had a little bit of a light shined on it pre-pandemic, but also like now this isn't going away. Even when we do add gigs when it's safe, this is my safe space now. I know you were saying earlier, like, it's not the best term anymore, but for the sake of the conversation,
You're fine. I
yeah.
understand. We understand.
yeah. And so it's become this safe space that I go on, yes, of course, make money, but also make friends.
Can you hold on? They can't hear you.
Oh no.
I forgot to mute my alerts like a fool.
Oh,
So now I have to dance.
like a fool. Dance, Waba. I'll hydrate.
Thank you for the 100 Poffins, Nuka Nerd. Welcome in. I love you, Erin. Your streams are so genuine. Everyone can really feel safe there. I agree. Yeah. And I think a lot of people can feel safe in my community. I don't like the term safe space, literally just because, like, it seems like artificial branding type-ish, and, like, it's an open talk space, but it might not necessarily be safe all the time if we're talking about, like, something that's particularly triggering, so.
Have you found a better way to say it?
Open talk space. That's it.
Open talk space. I love that. I'm sorry, I'm stealing that.
An open talk. Yeah, please do. I stole it from someone else.
Oh, perfect.
Open talk space, a, accepting space. Like, I'll still say I'm an LGBTQ or a queer safe space as well, because, like, we're definitely fucking safe to the alphabet mafioso here, so, like, hello, queer, non-binary, pansexual.
Picture, yes, just a picture of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twitch has been an absolute it's been the biggest silver lining to come out of what the last 2 years have been,
I agree fully with that for myself as well. Like, I found such amazing people through Twitch. Like, mental health wise, like, I've heard a lot of these stories so far, and this is my last group of y'all for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and it's always fascinating to me. Like, I thought I would be hearing a lot of like the same story over and over, but no. Like, everyone's journey is just so unique, and I love that so much about talking about mental health. Like, even with, like, I know, like, in my topics, like, we have 4 different weeks of like the same topic, but we'll still hear like several different stories and different experiences and different takes. It's great.
Absolutely. And honestly, I don't know if you saw my tweet yesterday about it, but you inspired me to start talking more openly to other streamers about mental health as well.
I cried.
No, in the best way. I started doing that. So I've done 2 Fridays now. Yesterday kind of wasn't that. It was kind of fluff, but the week before that, I kind of launched it with my friend Fenois. And I forget how important it is to talk about this stuff, because in the music industry IRL, they don't care about you. Nobody gives a shit about you.
No.
They
Do you
don't
make
even
me
care
money?
about your
Then we
music.
care about you, I guess.
Yeah, they don't care about your music. They were like, play Don't Stop Believin'. And I'm like, fuck you, no. And Twitch is the exact opposite of that too. They're like, hey, how do you want to play your own music? Like, I'm like, yes, please. The real world is not quite so loving toward musicians.
Right. Absolutely. Welcome in, Jen.
Hi, Jen. Jen's one of my bandmates, hence the EBX.
That's awesome.
Her name.
Yeah, I was wondering, what is EBX? Tell us about that.
Yeah, EBX. I don't know if it looks like it's the right direction on your screen. You can see the Elsie Binx right there. That is my band. And
Elsie Binx, yes it is. It's
yeah,
awesome.
so we released, that's why I say yesterday we had a chat on my channel, but it was fluff because it was the band. We released a record yesterday. And so it was kind of like, yay, let's pop champagne and hang out. Not so much mental health, but
Right.
in the future, Fridays are going to be kind of like where we are mentally as streamers.
I love that.
So
And I always
EBX is short for Elsie Binx.
Hell yeah. I always encourage people in general, like the kind of support that you can give fellow streamers is literally just talk to them offline about like your struggles, about, you know, what's going on with you. Just like open that conversation up and let your fellow like content creators know it's okay to talk about this, because we're feeling it too. Like I got really scared because I had a conversation off stream with BlizzBear, who's like this really awesome just chatter content creator. And I came at it as completely like, just like, I really love what you do, and I think we craft similar like safe type spaces. So I just wanted to talk to you and just like, you know, just chat, like maybe be friends. And at the end of the day, like, he's a person too. Like, it doesn't matter. He has like, you know, that big number next to his name when he goes live. He's a person that has like the same kind of fears and wants and desires as anyone else. It's great. It's really,
And
really
I
grounding.
love what you guys were talking about like the fake good vibes. Like, no, fuck that.
Yeah. Fuck that. We are not a positive only vibes.
No.
I like Mindset by Dave's, which is appropriate vibes only, which is to say wherever you're at, that's appropriate. And I love that because I'm a humanistic type psychologist person here. So.
But I agree with that. I totally agree. There are some days where I come, like, so at the beginning of my streams, I typically am about a 4-hour streamer. And the first 30 minutes or so is literally just talking. No particular topic, like whatever. Just I welcome people in, and what happens, happens. And I try to keep that to 30 minutes. And some days I come to, I switch over from my starting screen and I'm like, I need your good vibes today. If you came here for good vibes, I'm just telling you, like, I need it maybe more than y'all do today. And that type of honesty is honestly like one of the most refreshing things, because 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that because I'm programmed. Musicians are all programmed. The show must go on. And so I think it's really interesting. Streamers who are not musicians kind of have a leg up on that. They don't, depending on their industry, they don't have programming in that way. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense to me. I used to be a programmer myself. And I definitely see streaming and content creation as, at least from me, as a very like, I'm authentically me. My brand is authentically me and who I am as a person. But there's obviously also a performative aspect of this, you know. So I can get into flow really nicely. But on days that I'm not doing well, I'll be honest with my community, and say, hey, I'm not doing okay. I'm not doing too well today. And, you know, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to chill and chat a bit and, you know, talk to you about what I'm feeling right now. You know, so if you don't want that conversation, if you're not here for it, that's fine. You don't have to be here. No one's forcing you. But then I'm just going to, like, go do this, like, play Stardew or whatever. Because Stardew's, like, my comfort game right now. I love it. I'm on a Stardew kick, and I love it so much. And actually, I want to respond to Jen in the chat as well and just say, like, I'm really proud of you, Jen, for ending stream 45 minutes a few weeks ago because you started crying, couldn't stop. Yeah. this is something I ranted about recently. I'm going to edit my rant out and put it on YouTube. But basically, if you're not doing well, and you're just not doing well, you're not taking care of yourself or whatever, something's happening, feel free to end stream. Like, feel free to walk away, take a break. Like, it's okay. Take care of your fucking self first. No one, least of all yourself, can expect you to, like, quote unquote perform if you're not doing well. Like, struggle is definitely so real, and I like give you big ups for that, for like ending stream, because that was important. You need to just like take time for yourself. Don't
Yeah.
make my rant went on into like, don't make your content being like you breaking down is the spectacle, and that's why people come. Like, that's silly, and that's like trauma fetish weird shit content. But yeah.
Yeah, and Jen is not that.
No, I know she's not that, but that
Yeah.
was what my rant was like
Yeah.
last week.
And I will say that I because
don't be
I
afraid to
started
show those feelings.
streaming as a gamer, I did make more gamer friends first than I did musicians.
Absolutely.
And so like a lot of my music friends don't really, I should say music streamer friends don't really follow a ton of gamers, but I'm almost half and half at this point. Because I truly do enjoy watching people game. And it is important that like the communities are so different, so very different.
Yeah.
And like the people who come to my streams, come to Jen's streams, we have a lot of crossover because obviously we're the same band when we are BFFs. But the
Makes
people
sense.
that come to our streams are very much like, no, if you gotta go, just go. Whereas I've
Yeah.
seen in game streams, like people are just not kind. And so I wanted, while you had Yas Queen on the screen, I wanted to be like, raid more music streamers, and not saying me, not me, but because if you want legitimately to be welcomed in, you can pretty much blind raid any music streamer and they're gonna be like, oh, yay, a song. Like, you're never gonna get that person who's like, cool, hey, back to the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. I'm pretty good on sussing out the cool hey dude bro types.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting suggestion. I'll definitely take that into consideration. Maybe tonight I'll try to find a music stream. But yeah, music streams were hype over raid too. That's true. It is true. I agree with that. And I think that's also like a matter of, the community, but also like the viewership. Like the viewerships on music streams, they're there to fucking chill or rock out with music. And with a lot of like viewership on gaming streams, they're there to like criticize the player, like, you're not playing my game right. Like, bro.
Or backseat gaming, they just want the fulfillment for themselves.
Go there, do that thing. Dance, streamer, dance.
Yeah, I hate that the most. And even I think a lot of music streamers, I've talked to people, again, going back to mental health of all music streamers, whether you have 2 people in your chat or 200, some days I just don't want to be told what to fucking do. And I just turn requests off and I'm like, fuck you, I'm playing whatever I want to play today.
Hell yeah.
Because it feels like you're a monkey sometimes. Like, no, I don't want to dance. No.
There's another music streamer that I really love, who is called Beat Cleaver.
I know that name.
You do know that name.
I do.
He's friends with Mindset by Dave. He does a lot of like improv stuff, and he does a lot of mental health stuff as well. And it's just like very real with his feelings and stuff, and just kind of jams out. And he's definitely one of those types that's just like, I forgot what you were even saying, but like, yeah, like his whole community that's just based on like those chill vibes and just nice music and being welcoming and
it's
accepting.
easy to get sidetracked with like where the conversation goes.
Yeah, you're telling me.
It's so easy. Because mental health covers such many. See? So many different aspects of your
Such
life. Such many. And of streaming too,
So how has streaming and content creation affected your mental health, and vice versa? How's your mental health affected your content creation and streaming?
So I would, obviously, there are 2 separate different answers there.
Yes, they are. They're
Such many
questions.
different answers. Yeah. In the beginning, and I say like in the beginning, like referring to lockdown. Unfortunately, this journey for me is just inherently woven into the pandemic, and
Same.
I hate that for myself, but like at the same time, it kind of is what it is. But in the beginning, it was a source of like, okay, don't let the momentum of my band down. Keep people interested. Don't let them forget about me. And so you know, a handful of months later, 6 months later, it's like it was very good for my mental health when, you know, when you start streaming, you're not like, I'm gonna get partner in 3 months. You like, it becomes very obvious that
Was that how that works?
how it works.
If you just say that, it happens.
Right, exactly. And so you know it's not going to happen. Once you realize what the platform's like and you have a couple months under your belt, you're like, oh, I'm starting to understand this. And so like as a baby streamer, I was pulling in 20, 30 people, which is not terribly normal, but they were the people who were stuck at home now because we had gigs and they were all canceled. So it kind of made the most sense. And so it kind of gave me a weird chip on my shoulder that I had to also deprogram, because it's mentally in the music industry, you pay your dues and then you get rewarded. You get big gigs, you get asked to do things. And here I am 2 years into my journey and I'm not partner. And that, I think a year ago, if I'd known I'm still not partner, I would have been like sobbing. Because just that's how it is in the music industry. If you're a veteran of the industry, you get promoted. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. And in a lot of ways, mental health wise, it's basically you aren't rewarded for your hard work here. You really aren't. You're only rewarded for like your ability to market and if you get fucking lucky, basically.
Yeah, and luckily I did get fucking lucky, and I started to get rated by Raquel and J Muse and these a handful of other really big names that I was able to bring a couple community members from them, and you know, they've become huge parts of my my community now. S-Mac in the chat is actually an IRL friend who comes to gigs, and
That's
a lot of
awesome.
a lot of our IRL fans and friends did start to come onto Twitch and support multiple people. And so in the early beginning, I'd say my mental health was great. And then when I started to realize that it doesn't work like IRL and I'm not going to get rewarded, my mental health started to tank. Like around, I'll say like, so I started a partner push in like September of last year. And
Ooh,
that's
my next question.
Yeah. So
What do you
I
think
started a
about
partner
pushes?
push, and but I actually don't think it was unwarranted. My my CCV was 67. So
It's awesome.
right, like that wasn't, I didn't think it was unwarranted, and everybody around me was like, yeah, do it. And so I did it, and all of my numbers fucking just dropped.
Weird.
For a month they were wonderful, and we got really close to opening the application, but we never did in 2 months of pushing. And again, I 100% take accountability. I am so entitled because of the way the actual music industry does work.
Right.
But Twitch is not the same thing. So mentally, I just tanked. I took a couple days off in November, and I do not take days off. So anytime I take days off, my community's like, wow, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because they know I'm not. And so in November, I think I took 3 or 4 days off, and I stream 3 days a week. Oh, look at the baby. My
This
cat
is
is sitting
Sky.
behind the computer right now. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. And then after the push and people consistently being like, did you make it? I'm like, can you maybe stop asking? Because no, I didn't. And this is hard for me. Like, it was really hard for me to realize that the reward of Twitch isn't the check mark. It's the people. That's the reward, is that I've made real friends. Like, but that's not how it works IRL. So again, I've mentioned this so many times, is the deprogramming for me has been huge. Coming out of the wedding industry specifically. And it's been really hard to stomach, but I will say mental health wise, I have come back from it. I've turned off my numbers, and it's helped a lot. Yeah. And if you told me, like I said, if you told me a year ago that I turned off my numbers, I would have laughed hysterically in my own face.
It's literally super wild to me as someone who's like, like, I suppose Twitch, like, doing Twitch was, like, the first serious time I've done content creation before. Like, I technically did it before when I was much younger, but I didn't have any plan about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just wild to me that, like, you were so, like, oh, yeah, numbers on, I need that. Because, like, nowadays, like, that's, like, the first tip that you give newer streamers. It's just, like, turn that shit off. Have fun, do what you want, turn that shit off. Like, you're gonna stress yourself out looking at that count constantly.
And I think for me, it's the symptom of knowing who's in the room. I'm on stage performing and I would like to see how many people are watching me because I'm used to that.
Right.
And so it felt weird to not be aware of the room.
It's an empty sky day.
Like read the room kind of thing. For me, it was very literal. Like I couldn't physically read the room. And I didn't mean to be a streamer, where a lot of people have been on Twitch for years, been watching their favorite streamers and then understand the assignment. I did not understand the assignment.
Right.
So I needed to see who was in the room. And exactly what S-Max said, it's that you can't control any part of that. And I'm not a control freak. I'm not a control freak per se, but I do like to have control over my fucking income. And at the end of the day, this is my job. I don't have anything to fall back on. I am the breadwinner in our household, and that is Twitch. And so my outlook, control freak, my outlook is very different than a lot of people's because this is my livelihood and
no, I get that. There's a big fucking pressure to not only perform, but also to excel and kill it every single month because this is it. This is your income, you know? Twitch subs, donos, Ko-fis, whatever.
Yes, and Patreon too. All those things.
Yeah.
And so it's really stressful, but I will say that mentally, my partner and this community that we've built are so helpful to my mental health because like Ari was saying in the chat, it's hard not to feel bad. But then when you have all these people affirming the fact that they're like, we don't want to see you if you're not okay. No, take the day off. And then some of them will send you tips in lieu of that. And it's like, I love you guys. It's a whole other different experience.
Honestly, it's just an amazing thing to me to just grow that kind of community, and that's what I want out of streaming most of all, is to grow a really loving, supportive community. And like, if it also enables me to be able to do this full time in the future, then fuck it, yeah, I would love that. That's why I've been calling it like Year of the Waba, wherever, which is just mostly about personal growth and having a better mindset mentally about, just, being happy with what I'm doing and, finding our people, finding our family through that.
Mm-hmm. And so many streamers have said this, make the content you want to make.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's, and it's taken me
do you want to make this? Are you having fun with it? Then do that. Are you not having fun with this? Then don't do it. End of decision tree.
Yes, and like people from the music standpoint, people would like stop coming to streams when I deleted a couple songs because like if that's all you wanted from me, then you need to not be here anyway.
Exactly. Oh, I hate that. I hate like, when people are like, "Why aren't you playing this game?" or like, "Why aren't you doing this thing?" Like, fuck off. Same energy.
It's the exact same energy. It's the same thing. If you don't want to come around, dear Lord, if you don't want to come around because of that factor, you're not here for the right reason to begin with.
Exactly. I agree. I love what Jeremy said here.
What was that?
I love what Jeremy said. Nostalgic Alchemist.
Oh, gotcha.
It's one of the first visual exercises I did being a stage performer. I saw the number and visualized how big the room/theater is, and once I turned off the viewer count, I kept that same energy throughout. Just as if you are projecting to a theater. And I actually have seen that in his streams specifically as well. I always feel like he is talking to like a huge audience, and I love that. I always put myself in like, I try to act the same whether I have one person watching me or 100 or 1,000. And I want like 1,000 or 10,000 people in here who give a shit about mental health and are just chilling with us. Like, I love that, Yeah.
And that's what any performer is taught. It's the same show. Yeah. One person or 10,000. It's the same show. And so it doesn't need to change. And what I noticed was when I knew I wasn't going to make that average I needed, it tore me down. And it made me forget that the people watching me were people. And
Yeah.
It was really disheartening. And there were a couple months where I was just not okay. And for the first time ever, I was telling my friends, I'm not okay. Like, this is ripping me apart. And it felt so stupid. You know what I mean? Like,
But it's really important that you did tell people you're not okay. Because
Yeah.
that's the first step in trying to get yourself to being okay.
yeah.
'Cause if you
And
never embrace it, if you never acknowledge it, then you're just going to keep pushing all your feelings to the side.
exactly. And
You
as
know?
soon as I took it out of the equation, and like the whole partner thing, I took it out of the equation, and people kind of forgot that I did a push, and people stopped asking me, and I stopped mentioning it.
Good.
Mentioning it. I think people
Right.
started to read the room on that a bit, except for a couple people. But for the most part, yeah, a couple people would come into the stream and be like, "Did you make partner?" I'm like, "What the fuck do you think?"
And
Like,
I'm just like, I just like look down like,
Whoa. Well, I don't see the check mark there, do you?
Do you see the check mark? Because fuck you for doing that to me. But to be fair, like, these are people who were maybe acquaintances, and they may
Yeah.
not have known that I was hugely
Fair
being
enough.
affected by it. So it was like double-sided. In that moment, I wanted to fucking
Yeah.
punch somebody, but at the same time,
I
that wasn't
feel that.
entirely fair.
I don't know. I get really incredulous about people who like don't read, because they'll be like,
Yeah.
Waba, what are you doing today? What does my title say? What game is this, Waba?
Per my
What
last
is my
email.
categories? Literally.
Yes,
Per the current email that is sitting in front of you right now.
literally. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other type is, hi Waba, how's it going? I'm eating a sandwich right now, this very second, and I'm kicking my feet, and now I'm gonna get up from the table, and now I'm gonna. I appreciate your activism in my chat, but like, you don't have to narrate your whole life to me. I swear, you're fine.
You're fine. You don't have to. It's cool. Yeah,
love you,
it's definitely the balance. There's a balance that some people don't sense.
Who's the next person to tell me I have to go? Waba, I have to go pee. Oh, sorry, you can't go pee yet. We're still talking here. You gotta wait till Aaron's done. Sorry, that's the rules. Yeah.
And yeah, like S-Mac just said, like in the
yes.
moment that those happened, but one of them was like another music streamer, and so I was like, what? Why would you come in and ask me that? I was like, no, thanks. So like,
I
I
get
don't
it.
know.
They want
I
to be
don't know.
encouraging, and maybe they like don't visit you so often.
Yeah. And it just is what it is. Honestly, I'm in such a better
Yeah.
space now. It just in general, but the past couple months have just taken all of my energy, whereas basically 2020 and 2021 were like our band was working on a new record. But we never intended to do gigs or anything like that. We haven't. And we don't actually have a gig booked until September, and it's outdoors. And I actually feel decently good about that. But when it was safe, we decided to do group streams and actually stream music as a band. But for the most part, EBX became something that was on the side that like I didn't have to put a ton of mental energy in.
Right.
Once the songs were written, and so the last 2 months have been insane, absolutely bonkers. We signed a record deal mid-January with a startup record. It's not people in LA or something like that, but they are good-hearted people, and they, they're putting the money where their mouth is, which is honestly all a record label really needs to do.
True.
But I had no idea what kind of shitstorm it was going to start. And it,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, and me and our manager, producer Kevin, are pretty much the only two people who you can't have 7 different people handling business. You can't.
That's
you
true.
You have to have people, and there has to be a ladder. So me and our manager have spearheaded a lot of the communication, and the president of the label is very, very hands-on, very, very sweet human. Its name is Rock Island Records, and the president's name is Billy Craig, but like he also will send email upon email upon email upon email upon email before you answer any of them. But like the subject title is, "Hey, hi, what's up?" Like,
What?
And so my mental health has suffered a lot, and like, and it was getting to the point where it was just me and Kevin dealing with this. And then the whole band had to get on board with a handful of things, and they're like, what the hell's going on? And I'm like, welcome to my hell. And it's like, y'all have such good intentions and you're good people and you're doing amazing things, but I ended up putting out more fires than I had in the past 2 years in the last 2 months. Like my mental, and that's why, like, mentally with streaming, I'm in a really great place. Like, yay, the people around me are so supportive, but mentally with my band right now, it's not them, it's the record label. It's breathing down my neck, having to deal with like being told we need to send out hundreds of emails at the drop of a dime. And it's like, no, I wish I had my Zoom button right now. No, like I can't, I have learned how to protect my mental health really,
Artificial
really well.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Except it focused on your chest. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Fine, zoom in
The
on
titty
face
viewers,
side.
they're coming here. No.
Oh, the titty viewers, come and let me steal them.
Please.
But yeah, they have a lot of really great big ideas, but they're not good at executing the little things, and they also don't really understand Twitch, which is
your label.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been an uphill battle that I didn't even know I was gonna have to fight, and so it came out of absolutely nowhere, and I'm having to put so much energy into it that
Imagine that's fucking huge amount of extra stress all of a sudden. With dealing with this record label, especially if they're not communicating in a like really good way. Like I think maybe they're like seeing you, maybe there's like a weird expectation that like you have to like set with them, like set kind of boundaries with them of just like being a resolver for like, you know, being you're not a full-time manager of your own band.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild, and we have tried to set these expectations. And then now we're to the point where like we have meetings every Tuesday, and the rest of the band is all on this page of like, I understood it was going to be crazy while we were pushing out a release, but now the it happened yesterday, and it's not ending, and the rest of the band sees that, and it's like our next meeting is, hey, maybe once a day, it's okay to send an email, but it can't be 8 times a day. And I'm not even exaggerating. So my mental health, like outside of like, unfortunately, it has kind of eaten away at my streaming mental health, where I used to be able to sit down like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to go. And now it's like, God damn, I'm tired.
Because it drains you. It's emotionally draining, which physically drains you.
And I struggle to sit in front of screens. Like, I was okay at first during the pandemic, and then my body was like, maybe don't do that so much.
How about no?
Yeah. So I had to cut down on gaming because I do adore gaming. But I can't stream 18 hours a week and also game 18 hours a week. Like, not that I was, but it was still enough to where my body's like, you gotta stop. And so answering emails at all hours of the day is like,
you gotta respect your body and you gotta respect yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's my mental. I did not mean to go off on a tangent. I feel like I'm a complaint for everybody, but that's the state of everything right now. And I'm glad Jeff is here to hear me.
I think you said before when I came into your stream the other day, you were saying like 2022 is like the worst year of my life. And I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck's that about? I want to hear about that.
And I don't know if I said worst. If I did, man, I was not having a good day that day. But it's absolutely been the most stressful year of the past 3 years. Absolutely, like pandemic included, but that's because me and Trish have been very, very able to quarantine. We don't leave our house still, and that's a privilege in itself. But at the same time, the last 2 months have literally been the most intensive when it comes to being drained mentally, and that is saying something. Like,
I'm always solution focused, but I'm just like,
same. Actually,
if they aren't like listening to you, then like where does this go? You know, like you want to still get paid, and like you want to respect them for that, but at the same time you just gotta be like, listen, y'all, we can't be doing this. Like, I need the Cliff's Note versions. I need you to condense 8 emails into 1 email.
Yeah,
Like,
And also like at first I was very, very excited because I am all about organization. I use Dropbox, I use Google
Yep.
Drive.
Google Drive, Google Sheets, business
Yes.
expenses, let's fucking go.
Yes, every single thing is organized and it's very, very just it's in the place that you need it. And my band has learned over the years, don't ask me for something if you didn't look for it first. Do not ask me about this graphic. Don't
Right.
do it. Go fucking look for it first because I guarantee you 9
It's
times
probably
out
in
of
the
10
drive under the
it's
folder
there.
that says graphics.
And so I spent 2 weeks giving the record label assets, and then the day it needed to be submitted to Sony Orchard for release, they asked me all for it. And somebody like me, I called Kevin, my manager, producer, and was like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this. No,
Yeah.
no. He's like, it's okay, let me call them because I think that they don't get it. I'm like, I gave them everything they needed like 3 weeks ago. So you better, per my last email, motherfucker.
As per my last email.
Do not do this to me. Like, and that's how it's been this whole, every single
hate
step
that.
of the way. Yeah, I will send
hate
them,
that.
here's the links to buy the CD, link to it from your website. And then the day it goes live, I get an email saying, hey, I can't find the link. Can you send it to me? No.
Why
sorry.
didn't you save that email? Like, that is
And
literally on y'all.
guaranteed my email probably said big cartel link. Like I can't, bleh, let me spell it out for you. Like, anyway, I don't, it's been an interesting ride, but
I hate
like
it.
I said, they're good people and I think it's going to calm down now. And I hope
Fingers
it's going to
crossed.
calm down now. Fingers
Like, I don't
crossed.
want this to come to a head where, like, you have to, like, unsign from the label, because that would be a whole fucking fiasco as well.
Yeah, and it's a year contract. So
Yeah.
it's not like legally binding outside of that, and then we would get the rights back to the music that they released, which is actually just our new record. They don't own any of our other records. So
Sure.
like I haven't had something affect my mental health outside of streaming so much so fast. And I think that's what's so hard about it. Is like everything else I've been pretty much unaffected. I'm like, cool,
Absolutely.
gotta do my taxes. Cool, gotta go do my laundry. Like
Right.
it's been relatively
Like, I still have a life outside of this, I swear.
Yeah, and it's starting to feel like I fucking don't, and that's
Yeah.
what's terrifying. And the rest of the band feels it too. I am not alone. Jen and I are on the same page. All of the band is like, yeah, this is a lot.
It's a
So
lot.
it's a lot, but at the same time, I'm very grateful for what they're doing. Like they are propelling us forward, and honestly, that will
It's
translate
awesome.
to Twitch.
It will
Like I promise,
eventually.
it's all related. But they realize that what I'm doing on Twitch, I just happen to be the lucky one in the band where my streaming did take off. And all of them stream, actually. Jen streams. EBX Johnny is our guitar player. He streams. Our producer does production streams 2 times a week. Wes makes
Awesome.
EBX. Yeah, so like most of our band members stream. I just, like you said, it's fucking luck, man.
It's luck and marketing.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I just happen to be the best at social media out of everybody, and they would say the same thing. So luck in social media has brought me to being the best weapon, and so that's they know it. So it's like if I'm your best weapon, maybe email everybody else because I'm concentrating on finding fans on Twitch. Okay, bye. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. That was awesome.
End rant.
I was awesome. I learned everything about socials from Erin. All right, when's your video about how to socials coming out?
Honestly, so I worked as thank you, S Mac. I worked as a social media manager in the wedding
There you go.
industry. Yeah, for 5 or 6 years. So I had to dig on algorithms regularly. And some have changed, obviously,
They
but
have changed, but here's a hint: they all fucking suck.
yeah, they do all suck. You have to produce like nonsensical content with filters and dumb trends now.
Mhm.
Whereas you could kind of fight the algorithm without money before. And now you kind of can't. Like
Yep.
Jen made one of the stupidest TikToks I've ever seen in my life, and it was hysterically funny. I mean stupid in like the best way. She knows what I mean. And it'll probably be the thing that gets the most views on her profile out of anything. And it's like infuriating. But honestly, my biggest twip, my biggest tip to streamers is like use Twitter, man. Use Twitter.
Yeah.
That's
Twitter.
been what I've been toting. Everybody use Twitter. It's so powerful. It's one of the only conversions to Twitch. Nobody gives a shit about Twitch on Facebook.
It's true.
Nobody. And Instagram maybe a little bit if you're in the music scene, but Twitter is where it's
Or a
at.
model.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, that's about it.
Twitter's
And
super where it's at, but I hate the engagement farm shit, so I just try to make engaging posts without being unethical and stupid about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also try to drop like streamer things that will get
Yeah.
retweeted also,
Sure.
which is totally an engagement farm, but in the best way. Like
It is, but it's spreading like helpful information as opposed to just being like, drop your links here. Shout out your favorite streamers. I hate them.
I'll do the tweet like, "Hey, I need a pat on the back. I'm taking the day off. Thanks." Like that's it. That's the tweet, and it'll get
Yeah.
the most likes out of anything.
Of course, because
know?
people like to celebrate our failures and our negatives,
True.
and our low points.
That is true. That is true. And then there's people who literally retweet everything all the time, and it's like, you're ruining my feed. Please,
Yeah.
I love you, but thanks.
It is.
Yeah, I have a couple friends like that, and it's like, oh man, okay.
Yeah.
How do I rectify this? Because you don't want to unfollow.
Mute.
Yeah, but then I don't see anything that I'm actually supposed to see
From them.
from them.
Just check their profile every so often.
That's fair. I am too lazy.
And then go to their tweets.
That's fair. That's fair. As opposed to like all the tweets. It's
All the tweets.
It's
Just their
definitely
replies and their
overwhelming.
tweets.
And
It is.
social media is just like a part of the job. When you are a content creator, it's just part of it, unfortunately.
I gotta be better with my YouTube clickbaiting stuff, and I've been told to change all of my thumbnails and titles of the latest mental health talks. But I just don't have the spoons for that right now. But it's a good
No.
suggestion.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I don't even use my YouTube. Like,
I mean, honestly, for this interview, I could just be like, you'll never believe what... Or I'll be like, this famous musician hates their label. I don't know.
God, and they would probably never see it.
No.
Like, you would never even see it because just the nature of that, which is hysterically funny, though. You should absolutely fucking do that.
All right, I'll get my big red arrow and be like, this famous...
For the thumbnail.
Okay, let me click highlight there.
I legitimately used to YouTube. Like, I really tried to make YouTubing happen for years. I did it in college from like 2007 to 2009, and then I did this whole schmimic. I don't know what that. I was trying to say gimmick and shtick at the same time. So schmimic, called One Take Tuesdays, and I would record a song with like keys or guitar, or do it a cappella and do multiple a cappella parts, or use a karaoke track, and I would do it in 1 or 2 takes. And upload it within like half of a day. And I think that was in like 2014, 2015 maybe. Yeah, I legitimately tried to be a YouTuber. Didn't work.
Yeah, I agree fully with Smack. So much of social media is only of the win, or like they only celebrate your losses, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to see someone who's transparent. Reminds me that's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's always okay to not be okay all the times. Embrace your feelings. Fuck what social media says or does or whatever. If you want to post it out there, feel free to post it. You'll probably get a lot of engagement, but don't expect anyone to be like super fucking enthusiastic, overjoyed when you're like, hey, I'm good now.
Right.
They're like, all right, cool. Nothing to see here. Don't have to care anymore.
Yeah.
But you know who will care? Your community, if you build it that way.
Yes, absolutely. And I have had people that, like I mentioned earlier, they were only here for things here and there, and then they
Here
just
for a
stopped
reason, or
coming
here for a
around.
season. Here for a season, or here for a reason. Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's okay. Like, I don't even take it personally. I don't really think I ever did per se, just because I'm the first person to be like, everybody's fighting invisible battles. You don't know.
yeah.
You just don't know. I look perfectly healthy, but on the inside everything sucks. Like, it's just, that's just the nature of like fandom. I don't know if that's the word I want to use, but don't know. Because it's not the
Fandom
same
being a
thing.
personality on a stage kind of thing, or being an entertainer in general. Like people put you on a stage and think they're perfect and all this, and it's like, no, you don't know everything that's going on in my life, you know?
Exactly. And it's so refreshing.
True.
And like
True,
as
Jen.
much as I know it myself, I've had to be really honest that I do need the affirmations.
Same.
When I take a day off, like you even just saying it right now, I do need to hear it. I don't like to admit that I need to hear it, that I myself am not enough to just tell myself that. I need people
Listen.
to be like, good job.
Listen, just tell your community you have a praise kink, and they'll be more than happy to be like, oh, who did a good?
Oh, we always say that to our cat, big man doing big man things. That's what we say to him. And so now it's a thing. Yeah. He's an 11-year-old senior citizen. He needs his affirmations.
Baby.
Yeah.
How old is Nero? Nero's 10. So
Oh,
Nero
yeah.
turned 10 and thinks himself a kitten now.
Yes. Our Sean has definitely done the same exact thing. He chilled out toward the beginning of the pandemic, like he did not know what to do. He was like, how dare you be home all the time? He needed so much space.
Oh
And
no,
now-
Nero's always loved affection. And now that we're home most of the time, it's just like, oh yeah, affection.
Yeah. And Sean did like a 180. Now he's like that. But he wasn't really like that before. I hope he doesn't go back. I hope he always stays like this.
Me too.
But
I mean,
yeah, he'll be 11 like next week.
It's awesome. Happy birthday. I have a privilege where like I can stay home for the most part with my job and only have to go out for a little bit. So I've been very lucky to, I guess, keep the cats company, and Sky definitely needs it because he has attachment disorders, honestly.
Aw.
I turned our cat into a small dog and I have no regrets.
Yeah,
Fair
he
enough.
does kind of act a bit dog-like now.
I love it.
I don't know why it happened, but I think
we are.
Trish's dog energy is. I'm a cat person and Trish is a dog person, so I think it's like her inherent dog energy kind of. I don't know.
I have dog. Frankie has told me that I have dog energy. Like I'm a cat person, but like I have dog energy. Like I'm a dog personality type, but I pretend to be a cat.
That's
Because
great.
secretly I love you and I want to be your friend. But externally I'm like, meow.
No, I can totally see that. I can absolutely see that. And I'm just cat person through and through, man. I love dogs,
Get
but
that.
I am
I love
absolutely
dogs.
cat
I'm a
person.
huge cat person overall, yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
for talking with me today.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me. The hour just like flew by.
Yes, it does. That's how
Holy
it goes.
cow. Yeah,
Right?
you'd think I'd know, but no.
No, that's ridiculous.
No. How dare I have experience?
Thank you for talking. Seriously, I'd love to talk with you again sometime.
Yeah, thank you for having
Time.
me, and thank you to all of the community members who came to hang out with Waba. Please, and like you said earlier, if you're digging Waba's vibes, please consider following on socials and on Twitch.
There, I'll just do the thing where I'm like, this is where I'm at, and
There you
do
go.
the thing. There I
There it
go. There it is. Clap, clap. Love it here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We try to
of
have
course.
comfy vibes for mental health focus first and variety gaming second. Thanks,
I
Erin,
love
again.
Yes, thank you, Waba, and we'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Come catch Waba live only on Twitch.